Winter is coming, and the dead come with it. We were just given the first official footage. Well, okay, I guess it's like the second official footage, but the first clip was like 2 seconds. This one is a good 6 seconds. And I know there's a bunch of debate on whether this is from season 7, because yes, these are the exact same freaking costumes, but guess what? Daddy Hunts is here to let you know that this is all new season 8 footage. In this video, I'm going to break down that micro teaser as well as a leaked teaser that we may be getting later on this week. This video will contain spoilers. As always, here's your warning. Before we get started, please slap a like on this video, as the like goal is going to be 420. Also, make sure you're subscribed, and then this is the most important part, make sure you have your notifications turned on so that way you get alerted every single time I drop a Game of Thrones video throughout this long night. Also, consider checking me out on Twitter and Instagram and giving me a follow. One of the first things I saw a bunch of people commenting about this teaser on Twitter was the fact that Kit Harington looks a little bit heavier in this footage, and the same as with that initial promo photo we received of him and Daenerys back in November. My opinion on that is, well, nothing. I could give literally 2 shits about the size Kit Harington wants to get. Honestly, he could probably get up to about 350 pounds and still crush Tang. But on a serious note, Sophie Turner's makeup looks on freaking point. Now, what I want to say about these costumes being the same is that I feel like this little promo or this little teaser was filmed right around the first and second episode. If you pay attention to the background, that is the crypts of Winterfell. Now, HBO, Game of Thrones, they're one to drop, Easter eggs that pay off seasons later, so why the fuck not in these trailers? It seems like most of what we've gotten when it comes to promotional images and footage and teasers and all that good shit, it all comes from the first part of the season. There's only 6 episodes in this season, so it would make sense if HBO has sort of held off on promoting anything Game of Thrones. Once they do start their campaign, which they have for the past month, they're going to slowly release bit by bit. They probably filmed all of these little clips that they're about to drop between now and I'd say mid-January of next year, all from the first episode. They probably filmed in between takes. And if I'm right, and that's correct in thinking that all of these sort of images or teasers, whatever you want to call them, have been from the first episode, then this would confirm several things. Jon and Daenerys in this image make it to Winterfell. This is likely from the very first episode. And remember, we also got a teaser back in, I think it was September or October. I can't even remember now with the holidays coming up. But in that 2-second teaser, Jon and Daenerys are hugging, which also confirms that Jon and Daenerys make it back to Winterfell in episode 1. So if we're continuing with that same trend and all of these little clips are from the first episode, then the fact that Jon, Daenerys, and Arya are all filming this little in-between scenes take... Hold up, step back for a second. Did I really just call Sansa Daenerys? Oh man, my head is fucked up. But Sansa's wig looks very similar to Daenerys in this promo. I do want to say props to the makeup crew because they stepped their game up. It went from a shitty elf wig to top of the line. That looks damn near like Sophie's hair. But getting back on track here, we all have to keep in mind that there are only 6 episodes this season. So they're going to be starting off the season with the bang. I think the opening scene will likely be White Walkers attacking Winterfell. Now this next part will contain heavy spoilers. Well, I should say potentially heavy spoilers, as this is to be taken with a grain of salt because most of these leaks are horseshit. So in one of the many leaks that I've discussed on this channel, leaks always in air quotations there, but it mentions how Winterfell is attacked in the first episode by the White Walkers. This forces Jon, Daenerys, and everyone else upon arrival into the Winterfell crypts. Apparently the Night King somehow infiltrates the crypts of Winterfell, and in doing so, Sansa is slaughtered trying to protect Arya or allow her to escape quickly, and then Jon and Daenerys escape on Dragonback. Basically everybody in Winterfell, right after they come together, by the end of that same episode, they're all split apart in true Game of Thrones fashion. And then there was another leak that was very similar to that, however it had the Golden Company attacking Winterfell, and this is why Sansa, Arya, and the rest of the people who were there escaped down into the crypts. Jon and Daenerys then come back to a somewhat destroyed Winterfell, defeat the remaining Golden Company that are still attacking Winterfell, and then they make their way down into the crypts, and this is where they find Sansa and Arya, and then Bran, Sansa, Arya, Jon Snow, they all have this mini House Stark reunion. In my own personal opinion, I feel like it's going to be a mix between the two of those. Both of those fleeks hit on some really good points, which is that we haven't seen all of House Stark together since basically season 1. So that mini reunion of all the living and surviving House Stark members sounds a little bit true. And then also from the other leak, we have the fact that everyone gets together but then is split apart. That's true Game of Thrones fashion. Just when you think that everyone's happy and we might get to see every single member of House Stark all together every episode until they split up for the inevitable battle between the living and the dead, well, that's not the case. Maybe they're permanently split up and don't see each other until there's only a few left alive, and that's not till the very last episode. We have to remember that Each of these episodes is going to be about an hour and 20 minutes long. Now, take away about 15 minutes for the pre-credit stuff and then the after-credit stuff, but that still leaves us with a solid 70 minutes of Game of Thrones. Most of their episodes are only 48 minutes. So with the additional, I guess, maybe upwards of almost 20 minutes of content per episode that we're going to be getting, expect some major twists and turns because this is a Game of Thrones. One thing I do want to touch on from this new teaser is if you look closely in the background here, behind Sansa, it sort of looks as though there's this massive explosion or a big chunk of the wall that's missing. Now, mind you, this was uploaded in extremely low resolution onto Twitter, so it's kind of hard to tell, and this could just be granulated footage, and the crypts of Winterfell are dark, so this could just be a dark spot on the wall. So just to sort of re-summarize here, some information that we can solidly confirm take away from this teaser is the fact that most of these promos are from the first episode. This also confirms that Jon and Daenerys arrived to Winterfell, and they somehow make it down to the crypts. I know that's a little bit of speculation there, but if we add everything together, this is the summary my mind takes away from all this. And you also have to consider the fact that each one of these characters, Jon Snow, Arya Stark, Sansa Stark, they're all in their costumes from Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 7. So it would only make sense if these promos are from the first episode. We do know that they upgrade their costumes frequently, and for the most part, we probably won't be seeing them in some new threads until Episode 3. Now, of course, there is the possibility that HBO had them throw on their old costumes from last season to film these promos because they didn't want to give away any spoilers. Well, at this point, we're like literally 4 months away from the season, and HBO has released very few footage. I don't think they would go out of their way to throw them in their Season 7 costumes. Sansa's hair and makeup looks brand new, so this confirms that this is all from Episode 1. Now on to that leak that I mentioned at the beginning of this video about what is supposedly going to go down in an up-and-coming trailer that we may get in mid-January. Now mind you, this is a load of horseshit and is to be taken with a grain of salt, but nonetheless, it's extremely entertaining. The trailer opens with Jon Snow kneeling before Daenerys at what appears to be the Winterfell war room. Sansa can be seen sneering at Jon as he rises. Several fast-paced clips ensue, a war montage of Unsullied and Dothraki fighting the undead and then being turned. The way it's edited makes it look as though Grey Worm is killed. Then we get a slow-motion scene of Cersei addressing the people of King's Landing. She gives a speech about how the North's treachery will soon travel south and that they need every fighting man, woman, and child to bear arms. What the Her speech is ended by a cheering crowd. Okay, then we jump back north and it's another fast cut scene. This time it's several sequences that show Arya fighting alongside several direwolves, and a dragon can be seen flying overhead and breathing down flames onto the battlefield. The trailer ends with Bran and Jaime looking at each other as if it's the end, and then it cuts to black and says Game of Thrones, the final season. Don't really know what to begin there, so I'm just gonna pick the blaringly obvious ones. Cersei addressing the Kingdom of King's Landing. That would be a huge turn in her character. She could care two shits about these people, so why would she warn them that the North's treachery? As far as her saying that and not like, an army of the dead is coming, I could sort of see that. She's led the still loyal lords of House Lannister, I guess the Iron Throne, whatever you want to call it. She led them into believing that Daenerys is this insane usurper and she's come to burn down the Seven Kingdoms. So if she continues with that next season, well, that's not too far out of line, but the fact that she's addressing the citizens of King's Landing, I don't really know about that. Maybe she could be doing it to keep them from turning on her, or maybe she figures if they're there and ready to fight, if the Night King does come south, maybe they'll be able to fight him off while she's able to escape. I'm not really sure, but in my opinion, if we see any sort of humility from Cersei, it's going to be in regards to her own life. Like if her life is directly threatened, that's when she might be humanized a bit. But other than that, she's still going to be bat crap and crazy. The first part of it mentioned how it's going to open with Jon Snow kneeling to Daenerys in front of pretty much everybody at Winterfell. I think they're trying to say this dining area in Winterfell where most of Jon Snow and Sansa's scenes took place in episode 1 of season 7. I don't really know if Jon will openly kneel to them in front of everybody. I feel like that would just piss all of the Northern men off, and Jon's not one to want to do that. He may openly declare that him and Daenerys have a new alliance being formed into, or being made rather, in order to defeat the Night King, but I doubt he's going to just declare it to everyone. On the other hand, we did have an interview with Kit Harington talking about season 8, and he mentions how at the end of season 7, and I talked about the Arya interview in my last video, but in Kit Harington's interview that they're doing for these promos for season season 8, he mentions how at the end of season 7, both Jon and Daenerys are headed to Winterfell as not-so-secret lovers. So I don't really know if maybe there's been a note that's been sent ahead of time, like someone received a raven that they're together. Maybe Bran finds out by peeping in on them while they're having boat sex, and then he declares this message to everyone. Or maybe they're just going to be openly arm in arm when they end up getting to Winterfell. But one thing's for certain, and that's that the North is going to know that Lord Snow is banging his aunt. And when you think about it, this may push Jon Snow's true lineage to be revealed. Maybe someone close to him, like Sansa or something, wants to tell him this, so maybe she thinks it will make him change his mind about wanting to marry Daenerys. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to go down soon. Jon Snow is the type of dude that he has sex with a chick one time, and he's ready to, tie the knot. With him being an honorable man, he'll want to seal an alliance and a pact the right way, and that's through marriage. How freaking awesome would it be if we got a Jon Snow and Daenerys marriage at Winterfell in the Godswood in the first episode, just before everything broke loose and went crazy? That would be nuts. But with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could please slap a like on this video, as the like goal is going to be 420. Also, make sure you're subscribed. We have a like or a subscriber goal of hitting 50,000 subs before Game of Thrones Season 8 premieres. Also, make sure you have your notifications turned on so that way you get alerted every single time I drop a Game of Thrones video throughout this long night. Super special shout out to every single member of my Patreon family over on patreon.com/SirHuntsReviews. I want to thank you all so much for your support. And also, thank you everyone watching this video right now. My name's Mark, and this has been Sir Hunts, keeping you entertained throughout the long night reviews.